Today I'm going to be talking to you about change. We are living in a world that is changing so fast that it's moving from a world of reality to a world of digital. So I'm going to ask you now, are you an adapter or an observer of this change? My notes are gone. So what has changed? So we start off with the web. In 1993, we started with Google, just eBay, PayPal, emails and chats, the basics. Moving to Web 2, where we got introduced to the internet on mobile. We had introduction of social media, and as well as what we all use now is Uber. Now we are sitting in a stage of the Web 3. What is the Web 3? We've got 5G, augmented reality, virtual reality, and crypto. Oops, sorry. And to move on to the physical things, we've gone from cameras that were 0.9 megapixels to new cameras that are 51 megapixels. Old phones that were bricks to smartphones that hardly any of us know how to use them. TVs that were black and white, and you had to scan through the channels to get to it, to smart TVs that are now like a laptop that you would have used 3 years ago. And cars. Our cars are getting faster and faster, just like how change is happening in the environment. And lastly, me. I also changed. So, in the 21st century, so many of our old assumptions and strongly held ideas have been turned around. Many more upheavals are on the way. Different places, we live in a different place, which us Gen Zs are in compared to our parents growing up. So what? So what is the defining skill of the 21st century? It's not only coding, it's the ability to solve problems and lead change. So we're living in a pandemic at the moment, and Ravi Fitkatson, sorry, I always struggle with his name, he said, the pandemic didn't create a world of unpredicted change, it accelerated it. Our world was experiencing an extraordinary rate of change before the pandemic. The pandemic only sped things up. The cause of acceleration is twofold: technology and changing ideas. So what's next? What is to come? What is to change? This is a big topic at the moment of cryptocurrencies. I'm going to mainly focus on Bitcoin because there are so many other cryptos that are just out there at the moment. So it's a massive trend and a hot topic at the moment. Not only investors, but in the popular culture too. Its growth in 2021 has seen another year for the crypto record books. Bitcoin has hit multiple new all-time highs and have a big impact on the industry, and more institutional buy-in from major companies. The broader institutional crypto adoption, mainstream companies across industries have taken the interest. For example, AMC recently announced it will be able to accept Bitcoin payments by the end of this year. Fintech companies like PayPal and Square are also betting on crypto by allowing users to buy on their platforms. Tesla continues to go back and forth of acceptance of Bitcoin payments. Also with Elon Musk being a major investor himself into Bitcoins. So experts predict more and more buy-in is only going to make this more stable. So where are we going with this? Bitcoin is to replace fiat currencies. For you who don't know fiat currencies, it's your normal dollar, your pound, your euro. But to be honest, it's all going to probably be the yen one day. So experts in recent crypto surveys said that Bitcoin is to replace fiat currencies by 2050. So 54% of fintech experts expect Bitcoin to overtake currencies issued by the central bank in the global finance by 2050. The move could also take by 2035, according to 29% of the experts, and the majority of the panel see Bitcoin as currently undervalued, and that the price rising this year is to 66,284. These predictions were made in July this year. In November this year, crypto, or Bitcoin should I say, hit an all-time high of $68,500. So if these predictions have to be slightly on point or correct, there will be conservative predictions made by experts that Bitcoin will reach $100,000 by 2023. What Bitcoin is sitting on at the moment today, if you put in money and these predictions are right, you're going to double your money. Win-win. So the rates of new consumers. One of the main factors driving the price of the increase of Bitcoin is the rate of the new consumers are buying and exploring crypto. Kate Waltman said, "Crypto technology is being adopted at a faster rate than humans first adopted the internet technology." So there's 4.66 billion people connected to the internet. If people warm up to Bitcoin at a comparable rate as they did to the internet or faster, the report makes the case that there will be 1 billion users by 2024 and 4 billion users by 2030. So, moving in still with the digital world, this is the actual digital world, is the Metaverse. What a lot of us actually don't know what's going on yet. This is where the reality is moving into the digital. So, I'm going to focus on one thing that I find absolutely crazy, is Horizon's workroom. This is like our Zoom, although it's all done in virtual reality. You sit in a board meeting, and as you can see here, you scan your table on the virtual reality goggles. It focuses on your hands, so any gestures that you do while talking in this meeting will be able to see. With the Metaverse, you're going to be able to design your own boardroom. You're going to be able to dress your own avatars. It's connected to your laptop, as you'll see coming up, and you'll be able to show everything that's on your screen to share it as if a normal meeting. You'll be able to draw as if you were presenting in front of a class or in the boardroom. And not only like something about this, the virtual reality, is that if they've managed to do something like this just with virtual reality, think about our phones, how they were so big and now going to so small that soon it's going to be glasses that you're just wearing. And from then on, you're just going to be wearing contact glasses. Who's going to know what you're doing? So yeah, that's Horizon's workroom, pretty awesome. And then for all of, obviously, the digital world, you need energy. So what is renewable energy? The term renewable energy refers to any energy source that can be utilized more than once. It's the fastest growing source of energy in the world. Consumption of renewable energy is set to rise by 78% between 2015 and 2040. Global demand is increasing quickly thanks to forward-thinking people. A quick question, is anyone here off the grid? No, okay. So solar power is the fastest growing, projected to grow from providing 11% of the US's renewable energy to 48% by 2050. Solar power could be the world's top power source by 2050. So, what is the most used renewable energy? It's hydropower. This form of energy is generated by dams and it currently generates over 54% of world's renewable energy capacity, and that in turn accounts for 18% of the world's electricity. It's helping communities. It's environmentally friendly. Nothing about renewable energy pollutes Mother Nature. It doesn't release any greenhouse gases, hence it is safe and environmentally friendly. Overall, it reduces our carbon footprint. So it has the knock-on effect with climate change and improving. So the reason I say let's hope we see this is because South Africa received $8.5 billion from the UK, the US, and the EU. And this was all to speed up the shift from coal. South Africa, which is the 12th biggest emitter of climate warming gases and heavily reliant on aging coal-fired power stations, obviously what's a big problem, has now received $8.5 billion to put towards renewable energy. So let's hope we can see this. And yes, to shift towards renewable energy might be expensive. It will take 7 years to pay back what you put in if you go off the grid. But think of the world and the positive impact you can have on it. And plus, you won't have to worry about this. Eskom se poes. So, through all of this, the main thing comes down to the education system. According to the World Bank, over 40% of the world population is under the age of 25. This generation, as driven, ambitious, and talented as they are, face extraordinary challenges. Two critical ones mainly. Reimagining a rigid education system and ensuring that education leads to jobs. So, there's a guy by the name of Ravi Venkatson, as I said earlier. He's a special He's a special representative for young people and innovation at UNICEF and a founder of the Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship. He says, much of the education system around the world is designed for a world that no longer exists. Today's access to knowledge is now dependent on access to technology and internet, and many young people end up left behind. So it is inevitable in such an environment that change would finally come to our young people's education as well as it has. But there's a huge paradox for educators. The place where the biggest educational changes have come is not our schools. It is everywhere else but our schools. So I've written a little script. I know we're not supposed to read, but it kind of ties in everything and I didn't want to miss out anything. So today's students will not live in a world where things change relatively slowly, as many of our parents did, but rather one in which change extremely rapidly, daily, and exponentially. So today's teachers need to be sure that no matter what subject they are teaching with the future in mind. While there is much about the future that we don't know, we know enough to understand that today's English students must be posting, publishing, and communicating within the multimedia world of today and tomorrow. And that today's science students must study what is happening on the cutting edge, not just of the disciplines, which is where all the really interesting work is going on. That today's math students should truly understand order of magnitude, estimation of the unknown quantities, and the math behind all the polling and stats that are thrown around in our political lives. And that today's art students should be moving more towards the digital world and learning graphic design, illustration, as well as learning and creating the new and emerging hot topic of NFTs. We know we must respect and learn from the past. But if the future isn't getting equal time in our education, we are selling our students terribly short. So, part of change comes to transformation. So what do we do and how do we do it? There's 3 words that I'd like you to take home from this, and it's a form of training for transformation. First, agency. Realizing you can influence your destiny and heaving the confidence to act on it. 2, mindset of the explorer. Seeing life as an adventure to learn and grow. And 3, skill set of a change maker. The skills to lead people to solve complex problems. And then we go to the 3 phases of transformation. We have stage 1, the goodbye stage. We have let go of what you're familiar with, what you're used to, an old story, letting go of any familiarity. So getting out of your comfort zone. And then you get to no man's land. Nothing looks familiar. Everything is new, feels exhausted because you're trying to keep your brain reconnecting with the world and what's going on. And then you get to the final stage. Find your new groove, your new momentum, rituals, and behavior, and start building towards this new world. So, we can either be like that sad guy and look out the window at all the bad that's happening with the changing, or we can be like this person who's happy and looking at the bright side of changes. And he would say, adaptation is the ability to adjust to new information and experiences. Learning is essentially adapting to constantly changing environments. Though adaptation, we are able to adopt new behaviors that allow and cope with change. So, are you going to observe or are you going to adapt to the change that what we're expecting? Thank you.